Kaya. Oh, beautiful. It's always awesome to hear an ancient language being echoed back at me. And having the opportunity to welcome people onto country is of course a very, very important component of the spiritual life of Australian Aboriginal people, particularly here in the southwest of Western Australia. It's not something new, it's a time-honoured tradition, and it incorporates a cleansing of the space that we're in and those that are occupying that space. And then of course orientation in relation to where we are on country, and then the welcome itself. And, you know, I was sitting there looking at that picture and I could just hear the bubbles, feel the breeze and hear the wind blowing through the leaves of those trees. And then thinking back about this location and what it must have been like before the tar and cement and the infrastructure we have now. It's still in, you know, rolling, beautiful country. It hasn't been levelled out to build houses on and things like that, being an older part of the city. And it's going to give you the opportunity, if you live in this area or close by, as you go through it, to see the undulating landscape, and knowing that every piece of it with a northeasterly aspect would have had this special grass growing on that our people encouraged to grow. In today's world it's known as kangaroo grass, and there's also a subspecies of it they call wallaby grass. But the seeds were harvested, and then of course in combination with the zinnias that used to grow right through here in huge numbers all the way down to the edge of the lakes. And there was a series of about a dozen lakes coming all the way from what we call Noongar over there, Herdsman's Lake, right the way around through the city where it is now. It's built on 9 lakes, reclaimed land, and those lakes used to fill up, and when they filled, the paperbark trees, the mudra we call it, were full of birds, timed in a season we called Bunaroo. And as they arrived in huge numbers, they would start nesting, lay their eggs. And as the lakes filled, Qualla the mullet would swim in because they couldn't make their way back into the ocean because it had sealed off. There was a natural reef. And all these little fish, when they hatched from the eggs, would be the food for those birds, incessantly feeding. And our people would make special little dampers, and they'd eat those in combination with the fish. So like other people throughout the world, if I could say it this way, we ate loaves and fishes as well. And then you look at this, the forest for life. For us, our placentas were buried under certain trees for males and for females. That means those trees would send up fine feeder roots and nurture and be nurtured by that placenta, the same placenta as us. In today's world we'd call that a social investment in the forest. And that is exactly what we have to have.
Yeah.
And you cannot have a more social investment than to be able to look at that tree and say, that tree is me. And I am that tree. If we take that even further in the scientific realm, our DNA, that's our deoxyribonucleic acid, is in those trees. But not just the trees, everything that interacts with those trees. Birds, plants, animals, etc. etc. That is the social capital I'm alluding to. That's what we invested in our forests. We are at one with those trees. Our heart aches if we can't hear the branches rubbing together again. When there's a gentle breeze, telling young people that that's the spirit of two people who married wrong. You must never marry the wrong way. That forest is for life. We've set the bar extremely high, people. And if you now go to any learning institution on this planet and ask them, the experts, to name the longest continuous unbroken culture of any race of people on this earth, before you finish asking the question, they will say the Australian Aborigine. You wouldn't think so when you see my people being treated the way we're treated. You would not think so. And yet, we lay claim, rightfully so, to being the first astronomers. We understand the solar system. I have spoken to you for about 7 minutes. If you are not starting to completely be captured by this and begin to understand there is another way, then I've failed. I represent my mother and my father. They both raised me, and that is what I reflect. It's not about me, that never will be. It has to be about us. I don't expect everyone to race out there and start burying placentas under trees. But at the same time, that's the degree we have to go to. We're going to hold strong and save our forests and be able to claim forests for life. And to be able to hear the wind blowing through these leaves and smell that water and hear the bubble bursting as the solid interacts with the fluid. Wara wearing bulyakangan, bad spirit go away. Wara means bad. Wearing is the spirit, bulyakan is to go. None is from me. Wara wearing bulyakangan. It of course leaves a void. It can only be filled by a good spirit. Quabardan Jinjin. Ngaladan. Quabardan means good. Jinjin, it is impossible to call on a better spirit in this part of the world to be in your presence. It needs humility. It's coming through the door. Gently feel it. It's who we are, the spiritual essence of this place. The old people would now want me to say to you, Wanju, Wanju, Nechu, Wajak, Nura. Welcome onto country. You have beautiful hearts. Don't give up. We're in this together. Welcome everyone.